Day 78, July 17th, 2022. We got a little bit of a late start this morning. Felt kind of good. The sun was up before we crawled out of our sleeping bag. That was sort of by design because our next food source is in a town called Egan, South Dakota. And it's a convenience store. It doesn't open until 9 a.m. So we got about 3 hours to get there. We got on the road about 6 a.m. We should get there a little bit after it opens, I think. So I just received a blog question from Kay, who wanted to know how my new Tevas were holding up and whether they needed any breaking in and whether I still felt every single rock and pebble as my foot came down on them. And I'm happy to say that the new Tevas are working out pretty well, which is good, because I recycled the box they came in about 50 miles back, and there's no way I'd be able to return them. But they haven't needed any breaking in. I do still have the old Tevas in my backpack just in case I need to revert back to them. And you probably saw I am limping a little bit on my left foot. I've got some kind of issue with either my heel or the arch of the foot, which is giving me some trouble right now. I'm hoping that just works itself out the same way all the other foot issues did earlier in the journey. I do still feel the rocks and pebbles, but there's a lot more cushioning now. So, I mean, they don't shoot lances of pain at my leg every time I come down on one. And Kay also asked a question a few days ago that I never did get around to about, she knows that I've done this journey a couple of times before. I've done the southern route across the continent, and I've done the middle route straight across. Well, diagonally across, actually. And the question was about how is the northern route different? Well, first of all, here in South Dakota, where I am right now, it's 88 degrees today, about 31 Celsius. Tomorrow, it's supposed to hit 97, 35 or 36 degrees Celsius. And so I'm very, very glad to be doing the northern route this time. I can't imagine what the temperature is like 1,000 miles south of here. I just passed through the town of Coleman and was talking to the woman who was working the register at the Sinclair gas station convenience store. And she went out of her way to point out one thing you'll notice about South Dakota is how friendly everybody is. She said South Dakota and the Midwest in general. And I would have to agree with that. Twice already today I've had people stop and offer me rides. And I've always felt that that's kind of a mark of how cool a town is, or how friendly a place is, by how many people stop, even though you're not hitchhiking and you're walking facing traffic instead of walking in the direction the traffic is going. They still stop and they still ask, and I think that's just right, friendly and neighborly. And as I just finished talking about people stopping and offering me a ride, it just happened again for the third time today. So yes, this is off the charts friendly territory here. And this is something new as well that we've only been seeing in the last couple of days. In fact, only in South Dakota, that they bale up the tall grass that grows by the side of the road. And maybe they do that in Minnesota too, but when we were passing through, they hadn't cut it yet, let alone baled it. So we're gonna steer clear of trees, I think, for the rest of this journey through the Great Plains. And the reason is they're so scarce out here that I think every critter who's still managing to make a living out here is attracted to these isolated islands of woodland. And competition for living space in those trees must be pretty fierce. And I think that's maybe why we're having all these animal encounters every time we try to spend a night under the trees. But the animals live here all the time and we're just passing through, so not really fair of us to replace them just so we can have a night hidden away in some copse. Friends, Romans and countrymen, lend me your ears. They were all of them fond of quotations. So they drank to his health and they gave him 3 cheers, while he served out additional rations. We have sailed many months, we have sailed many weeks, 4 weeks to the month, you may mark, but never as yet, 'tis your captain who speaks, have we caught the least glimpse of a snark. We have sailed many weeks, we have sailed many days, 7 days to the week, I allow, but a snark on the which we may lovingly gaze, we have never beheld till now.